Okay, greetings everybody, it's Umbra. My shirt has changed, so you know it is later than whatever the previous video was. Alright, let's talk about the rest of the news from tonight's stream. I'm going to just kind of go through it about as quickly as possible, basically end on the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children character upgrade. So maybe there's a time code below if Umbra didn't get too tired. Alright, first off, user survey. We are going to be having a user survey. There will be a link in the actual game. You will do it, and if you do it, you get 200 Visior. Cool. Moving on. Next up, guild raid results are in. Not too terribly much else there, so let's also move on. Pickup match will be happening on JP on 4/22. This is a PvP event, so if you care about it, best of luck to you. Otherwise, not too terribly much. It looks like there are some things to do with magic as well as AP. This will be after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth starts, so we'll see if that makes any kind of difference. Also have a new arena map focusing on Great Swords in Light, probably because of Zack, but also benefits AC Cloud, and we'll be talking about more about him in a bit. AC Advent Children will be coming back for a repeat, so anybody who has started on Global or looking to start on Global, if you're looking to get AC Sephiroth, hey, good news. You can get them, and yes, the Advent Children characters will be getting upgraded, so that's good news, and I would also expect their equipment and other stuff to be upgraded. Unlike some of the other upgrades, I do think this will hold some water, mostly because it hasn't been that long since we actually got these characters, so the upgrades will probably be good enough to make them relevant again, especially one character, which we'll talk about later. The Final Fantasy VII Rebirth collaboration will be happening at the same time. Not too terribly much else to say here, but plenty of FF7 stuff. Spend your Visior on. Next up is this. Now, this was probably not going to be that noteworthy for anybody, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Basically, ability descriptions have been upgraded or updated. Now, I'm not too terribly sure if this is because Global being kind of shut down or anything like that they've felt a need to kind of redo certain things, but there is a pretty goddamn extensive list here covering all kinds of abilities and what they actually do and changing the text in game. This was covered mostly with more on stream, and I find it kind of interesting that they've essentially done this just for no other reason than, I mean, text updates to make things clearer should have been done probably sooner. Morale will continue to happen. What's the saying? Beatings will continue until morale improves. Alright, we also have limit burst upgrades as well as unit upgrades of Master Quest 2 and equipment upgrades, all that you can see for Advent Children. All of that stuff we will detail in this video, but there's going to be some more stuff beyond from what you are just seeing here. So, you know, if you have a ton of questions, I'm sure you do, we'll cover it soon enough. Now, other than that, Zack will be added to the Great Sword and the FF7 Rebirth collaboration if you're looking for those details. All of those have been put in a separate video that has already been up, so if you're wondering where that is, go check it out. It's great. We'll also be doing lots of Rebirth content and Advent Children content through this week and into next week as we see all of the upgrades, updates, new characters that synergize in different ways and all of that shit. So, exciting times. Now, let's jump over to talking about other major thing, and I'm going to bring up the live stream here, which was the return of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children collaboration. Now, starting off with this, it does mean that you are able to get Tifa again. Rebirth does not have a free first of character, which is, you know, the fact that they are just doing Tifa at the same time feels a little bit like a cop-out to basically do this. But beggars can't be choosers, and this game doesn't run on goodwill. It runs on money, so yeah, whatever. Not too terribly disappointed, but also still a little bit disappointed, just so I can connect with the community and everything like that, and because it's pretty obvious. But we do and did get some details on upgrades that will be happening to the various characters. So while the video is running, I'm just going to talk about it and do it as basically the best I can. as you see the stuff on screen. So pausing here for a second, starting off with AC Cloud. Level 80 will get a 10% physical damage reduction as well as a 10% physical damage increase. So he takes less physical damage now and deals more physical damage. As for his Limit Burst, increase the penetration rate of single target attack. That's pretty nice, does synergize with Zac as well, but I'm curious what the exact final amount will be. Also halves CT as well, which is a pretty interesting upgrade. We did see this as well with Elena, so it does seem to be a theme that is going on with FF7 now, CT modifications. But anyway, overall, I do expect AC Cloud to potentially be pretty noteworthy, especially when his weapon gets upgraded too. It wasn't that bad before this, all things considered, so I could see a minor power bump pushing him back into relevance, especially with new character support like Zac. Long and short of what I'm trying to say is I expect him and Zac to be a pretty powerful pair in combination. We'll have to wait and see the full details later. As for Tifa, Tifa's always had the kind of benefit of just being, after the major power creep of last year, being the best strike unit in the game and at a lower cost. Now for 80, leveling up past 80, plus 20 tone critical chance, 15% damage reduction when magic damage is taken, and when you take, or when your HP falls below 50%, 2 times you will get a medium HP restore, which is pretty nice and pretty on theme with the whole monk thing. As for her Limit Burst, she will also get an own CT increase, medium, 3 turns when a crit for higher critical chance, and an effect to restore AP when a critical hit occurs, with a CT boost up small effect. And that's pretty major, that's pretty good, but also the range on her Limit Burst will go up from 4 to 5, and will get a 25% crit chance increase. I have to say, I quite like Tifa's upgrade a lot. Tifa, I never have thought has been that bad. And I'm not going to say that I think that this is enough to get her there, but with Elena being a 100 cost strike unit that has strike resistance down and I believe single target AoE shred, I do think that Tifa stocks are rising. So yeah, nothing bad to say so far. Let's move on to the later half, which, you know him, you'll love him or hate him. AC Sephiroth is getting an upgrade already, it feels like, because he hasn't really left the meta since he has been put in the game 1 year on. So for his Master Ability 2, 10 resistance to single target attacks, as well as plus 20 to AoE resistance penetration. Really good combination there, more DPS for him, as well as just being generally harder to kill. But that's not the big thing. Big thing is his Limit Burst. First off, additional effects of disabling CT and speed down during the curse effect. This is pretty major. Yes, there does exist auras out there to protect against curse, and yes, there is ways of protecting against curse. However, AC Sephiroth has become less popular, and therefore curse resistance has kind of dropped a little bit. This is more than enough to push AC Sephiroth back into. Since so many VCs are supporting katanas and have supported katanas for so long now, he has stayed pretty relevant, and more recently in combination with Karsha and O. So looking at if you were to have this style effect of just saying, well, speed is just down during curse effect, you're not getting HP restore whatsoever, and you're disabling CT up, is pretty massive for reducing the effectiveness of characters. Remove haste as well, and you kind of just got a really scary thing here. Not only that, it does reduce all attribute resistance down now of 30 as opposed to 20. Honestly, I do see AC Sephiroth becoming totally relevant with a series of upgrades. And if there's any other upgrades that we are not aware of yet, I do think this will push him into even better position to come back more into the meta. Long story short, don't sell that curse resistance yet, because it will probably still be useful with this bugger coming around again. And last but not least, Kadaj. Now, Kadaj is getting a pretty big upgrade. 20 reaction walk rate, 30 resistance penetration rate for single target attacks, and one of his abilities, Killing Exaltation, will also get a physical barrier to himself for 4 times. Kadaj is kind of a sticky character, and that he can survive pretty nicely. I think this is pretty good because his DPS is getting a boost as well as his just overall utility just from his master ability too. And it's the biggest one of all of the characters. Again, maybe just relegated to limited cost in similar way to Tifa, but you never know. Could end up being better than I actually. As for his limit burst, increased AoE resistance penetration rate, and gives an effect of reducing damage for 3 turns. In combination with O, who is also a water blast it out against the opponent kind of character, I do think that there is some interesting stuff here. I'm not going to go all out and say that this is the be-all and end-all or anything like that, but it is at least interesting enough to be noteworthy. And that's the thing, all of the AC characters do seem to get some pretty noteworthy upgrades. If I was to pick the one, at least based off of what we've seen so far without equipment upgrades or any other upgrades that I might be missing, I'm going to give it to AC Sephiroth just because he is still freaking around like a, he turns up like a bad penny of constantly being there and just really annoying. But really strong is not yes, he has fallen out a little bit to newer characters, but water is not in the best position right now. And that curse, not every character has curse resistance, and this will just highlight that meta teams do need to have curse resistance or potentially really suffer from it. Either way, I think that there is a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of these characters I'm actually very interested in upgrades. So AC FF7 Advent Children collaboration coming back has enough noteworthy stuff to be really interesting, and you know what, that's pretty fun. Now, talking about a few other things from the live stream, I talked about the survey already, but there's a few other noteworthy details that I am going to just go over very quickly. First off, the 500 summons is still accessible, so if you are looking to start a new account on JP, well, you can get some extra pulls in there still, just in case you didn't know. There will also be one of these 3 lottery winning chances against a super boss that will be starting on May 1st. No clue who we are up against. I think it's a Persona 5 enemy, but we'll see. That's a joke, by the way. But there you go. Also, the global anniversary or funeral, however you want to look at it, tickets will be distributed very shortly, and those, well, will just give some bonuses and rewards, so that's all nice for players who are getting them, like me, whatever. Moving on. Next up, Phantom Day. I don't know why, but this is just funny. 420 blaze it for this one. This should be the last one for JP players who get the selected ticket that they need. Also, story update. We will be getting the next story update on 4-23, the same day that Elena drops. That's pretty cool overall. In a previous video, I also talked about the new Visior web shop. I'm not going to talk about it again, other than saying that you should go check that video out if you want more details. Next up, for Golden Week, looks like we will be getting a bunch of campaigns. More details on that later, but Golden Week, massive series of holidays here in Japan back to back. So usually come with some nice benefits. If you're starting a JP account, there you go, some bonuses. Also, on July 27th in Yokohama, looks like there will be a concert for FFB music. While I will say that I am not going myself to get on a Shinkansen train to go all the way out here, I will say that just like Wotv artwork, like the artwork you see on screen here, the music is actually pretty damn great in this game, and concerts are always cool, so no hatred whatsoever for that kind of thing. Just wish it wasn't so far out east. If it was in Osaka, maybe I'd go. Also, some gifts and rewards for everybody who is playing the JP side. So again, if you want to start a new account, you'll get these in the near future, as well as some Visior. There you go. That's it. The music is out. I am out of things to talk about. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Later. And yeah, there we go. This is an awkward outro because I lost where the stop recording, but you don't see this very often. Later.